Remember, you don't get it twice, the time of your life.
Kane, little run up, fires it into the bottom right corner. And that is a priceless opening goal in this Champions League semi-final for Bayern Munich. Caoimhan onto his right foot, and he tucks it in. And the European champions are back on from Ousmane Dembele. Has given PSG a third goal. Drops for Caoimhan. 4-2. PSG. Easing his way past defenders, and now Dembele onto his right foot, and it's found the inside of the post, and Dembele makes it 5. Joshua Kimmich with this Bayern free kick, headed on and in by Upamecano. 5-3. Harry Kane, that's a lovely ball to Diaz, who takes the touch, then another touch, and another goal. 5-4. There is the final whistle. An absolute thriller to start the Champions League semi-finals. It's finished PSG 5, Bayern Munich 4. A very good evening and welcome to Champions League Live for our final semi-final second leg. And it is just one spot left in this season's final. But will it be reigning European champions PSG or six-time Champions League winners Bayern Munich, who will be heading to Budapest to face Arsenal in this season's final? These two gave us one of the best games of this season and in recent Champions League history last week. 8 days ago, we witnessed one of the greatest games that football has seen at this stage of the competition in its history, and there is no shortage of candidates for that. A 5-4 thriller at the Parc des Princes set up an incredible second leg with a lot of anticipation and a lot on the line, of course, a spot in this season's final. Last night, Arsenal booked their place in the Champions League final for the second time in their history, for the first time in 20 years, after beating Atletico by a goal to nil at the Emirates with Bukayo Saka's goal. Enough to send the Gunners to Budapest, but who will join them? We will find tonight. Bayern Munich against Paris Saint-Germain, two of Europe's most threatening sides. We saw that last week. A lot of criticism over the defending, quite honestly. But who cares about that when you're the neutral? Who really cares about defending? All that matters is that we get some goals, and I've no doubt we will get some more goals here tonight between these two. They certainly wrung out the changes for the weekend's league fixtures in Liga and the Bundesliga. Bayern 3-3 draw with Heidenheim, and the 2-2 draw with Lorient for PSG. But it is all focus on doing the job tonight. PSG with a 1-goal lead heading into this one, knowing they need to at least avoid defeat, and they are in a Champions League final. A draw is enough for the Parisians, but for Bayern, it's they have to win by 2 clear goals to go through in 90 minutes and win at least to have a chance at getting into the Champions League final. That is what at stake, and one of the best European venues to behold a game like this, the Allianz Arena. And let's hope for... I mean, even if it is anywhere near as exciting as it was last week, we're in for an incredible game of football. The talent, the quality, the stars on show tonight, they will shine bright no matter what. They're just too good. And let's hope for more of what we were able to see and grateful to see last week between these two. Vincent Kompany, Luis Enrique are very stubborn in the fact they'll not change. No matter what happened last week, they will stick to their principles. And I think that is what is going to get us another incredible game of football here tonight. Let's show you the teams then as the players emerge from the iconic Allianz Arena tunnel. Starting with the home side, who have a job to do tonight, Bayern. They have to come from a goal down to try and secure a spot in the Champions League final and a chance to make it 7 titles in this competition. Manuel Neuer starts in goal. A back four of Josip Stanisic, Deo Upamecano, Jonathan Tah and Konrad Laimer is the only change to the Bayern side tonight. He comes in for Alphonso Davies, who drops to the bench from last week's game. Joshua Kimmich and Alexander Pavlovic are in midfield, and an unbelievable attack of Jamal Musiala in the 10. Olise and Diaz the wingers, and Harry Kane leading the line. On the bench, Urbik, Ulrich, Kim, Ito, Leimer, Ofli, Pavic, Goretzka and Jackson. Well, for Paris Saint-Germain, they make just one change of their own from last week's game. Safonov continues in goal, but the injury to Ashraf Hakimi means Warren Zaire-Emery drops from midfield to right back this evening. Marquinhos, Pacho and Mendes in the unchanged other three in that defence. A midfield of Vitinha, João Neves and Fabian Ruiz takes the place of Warren Zaire-Emery in that midfield, with that frightfully attacking, unbelievable attacking line in Kvaratskhelia, Desiree Doué and Ousmane Dembele, the current Ballon d'Or holder. But who will have that at the end of the season? I think this game might a little bit of an inkling as to what will happen on that front. On the bench for PSG tonight, Laurendon, Marin, Vino, Zabarni, Beraldo, Hernandez, Fernandez, Mayulu, Lee, Barcola, Ramos and Mbaye. Options off the bench if they need them. But who knows? Let's hope for some more unbelievable action. Incredible attacking quality. There's no doubt about that. Let's hope for quite a lot of goals too. And certainly we weren't starved of them last week. Anything similar to that. And we're in for a treat of a next 90 minutes. These are how they've set up. Of course, no stepping back. No backing down from the idea. It's all out attack from these two teams, and that is what gets us very excited for what's in store tonight. It's Bayern Munich against Paris Saint-Germain at the Allianz Arena in the Champions League semi-final for a place in the final to take on Arsenal. But who will get there? The reigning European champions looking to go back-to-back, but Bayern Munich looking for number 7 in their history. 6 years after they beat PSG in the final to claim number 6. It is a huge game at the Allianz Arena, and kickoff is next. A very good evening. Thank you very much for joining us for this one this evening. We're a little bit delayed. They took their time coming out from the tunnel. It is 1 minute past 8, but who cares? It is certainly one to wait for. We've had to wait 8 days for this opportunity to witness these two teams grace a football pitch again against one another. And what a display they put on last week in Paris. From the city of love to the city of Bavaria. And certainly the grit, the determination that runs through both of these two teams is just sprinkled a little bit of stardust on top. And it was enough to produce 9 goals, one of the highest scoring single Champions League games in the competition's history. And certainly we're on for the record of the highest scoring tie in Champions League history. Who knows? That could be broken tonight. So the two teams ready and waiting to get underway in what is set to be surely another spellbinding, action-packed game of football. And it is Bayern who get us underway. They've got all the task really to do tonight. Have to outscore PSG by 2 goals to head through in 90 minutes. That's easier said than done. The way these two teams played last week, if they play anywhere near that level, they will put some more into the back of the net. Here's Desiree Doué with the first bit of PSG possession down the right hand side. João Neves to Marquinhos, the PSG captain. Trying to lift that one over the defence of Bayern and right through to Manuel Neuer. Well, there's that real air of experience, youth, pure quality, real gritty players as well. There's such fine balance between these two teams and how well matched they are in every single area. I mean, they've got unbelievable attacking lines, really strong, rigid defences, really creative midfielders mixed with real gritty, hard to fight against midfielders. It's one of those games where you kind of look at it and go, it will come down to one moment that will make the difference between these two teams. And it's hard to really forget the fact that PSG were 5-2 up last week. They did throw their 3-goal lead away a little bit. I said at one point last week, they're running away with this PSG. They were running away with it until Bayern Munich slotted 2 goals from nowhere to make it one hell of a contest for the second leg. Here's Desiree Doué trying to use his dribbling qualities, but this time gives it away, and Elise wants to break. He's trying to skip away from a challenge and goes down under the challenger Nuno Mendes. But the referee said no foul. He's letting a few things go early doors here, the referee. Doué's one not given, Elise's one not given. Our referee is João Pinheiro from Portugal. That's a lovely ball in behind for PSG. Have been on the front foot so far. And Caoimhan Ferris tore them apart last week. Cuts it back, and what a finish from Ousmane Dembele. And he's absolutely put that one in the top corner. And within 3 minutes, the European champions lead. And their lead on aggregate doubles from 1-2. And that is the most incredible start that PSG could have asked for. Caoimhan Ferris with the ball, and Ousmane Dembele with a top-tier finish. We see it here, it's a lovely little one-touch football again, and it's worked down that left-hand side, and Kvaratskhelia just breaks him behind Deo Upamecano, and he just cuts it across. It's really simply done. Again, it's terrible defending, but it's fabulous from Caoimhan Ferris, who, as I said right there, tore Bayern Munich defensively apart last week with a couple of goals, and he set the first one of the night up. It's probably a savable one, you got to say, for Manuel Neuer, but a cracking finish by Ousmane Dembele. I told you it wouldn't take long, and it didn't take the European champions long to take the lead. Bayern Munich 0, PSG 1 on the nights. PSG leads 6-4 on aggregates. Well, that is certainly a statement, a commanding start for PSG. They're not here to mess around tonight. They're not here to play basketball style action of you score, we score. They're here to get the job done and try and retain their crown. They don't want the defence of their trophy to end here in Munich tonight, and they've started in the perfect way to keep their attack for their second successive Champions League title on track this evening. I mean, the finish from Ousmane Dembele, I have to say, his first chance last week, his first real chance he had, he absolutely cleaned it well wide. It was a terrible finish. He just wasn't switched on last week, but he was switched on, locked in, right from the off here. And PSG, who'd really not broke through, but had been toying around the edge of the box in the first couple of minutes without real imminent danger for Bayern Munich. Just one touch, beautiful play down that left-hand channel. And here comes Konrad Laimer in the opposite direction here for Bayern Munich now. Bit of ping-pong last week. Maybe a rematch. Elise though, poor on the ball. Lovely little roll back there by Dembele. That's going to be a free kick here. And it's actually William Pacho who was brought down in his own half by Konrad Laimer. Just a little bit late on the PSG centre-back. And it's going to be a free kick. Well, Vincent Kompany oversaw his side's first defeat since the 24th of January last week. His side have been absolutely impeccable up until they faced PSG and then the drop points at the weekend, albeit in understandable circumstances. They've already wrapped up the title and whole focus is on this game, but you got to be honest, Bayern Munich just need to refocus here early doors. The last thing they really needed was to concede such an early goal. There's no doubt they've been 3 goals down in this tie already, so there's really no question they can fight back, but it's such an early setback for this crowd and this team. Well, we told you about how incredible last week's game was and how record-breaking it was. It was the highest scoring European Cup semi-final match since Eintracht Frankfurt beat Rangers 6-3 in 1960. Across both legs in major European competitions, the most goals in any semi-final was in that game, in that tie, 16. It ended 12-4 on aggregate to the Germans. We're 6-4 tonight, so we're a long way off reaching that record. Still need 6 more goals, but I wouldn't rule it out. This game is mental. We had 9 last week. We already have 1 inside 3 minutes. Who knows? Literally, who knows? That's going to be a free kick here to Bayern Munich. Michael Elise brought down. There's going to be an early yellow card handed out by the Portuguese referee, and it's going to be to a player of his home country for the referee, Nuno Mendes, who's going to get the yellow card. Yeah, we see it here. He just kind of tries to nick the ball away from Michael Elise, but just catches him with his studs a little bit there. It's a late challenge by Nuno Mendes, a very, of course, experienced fullback. But an early yellow card is not what he would have wanted, or his manager at this early stage. Now Bayern Munich, they scored from a set piece last week. A couple of set pieces actually. A corner and a free kick. Well, they've got an early free kick here. And a chance to respond to PSG's very early goal. Joshua Kimmich rolled it. Taken down by Michael Olise, who's just dribbling towards the box and trying to lift one. That one actually was directed more towards goal, as Safonov was a little worried. Ultimately didn't need to be off target. But this pass for Kvaratskhelia, it's an absolute perfect ball, weighted beautifully, and the cut back onto Ousmane Dembele is absolutely quality. And look at Luis Enrique's reaction to that. The travelling Parisian fans, they travel in their numbers, and they travel with noise, the PSG fans. And they've travelled in their thousands for this one, and they made their voices very loudly heard inside the Allianz Arena when that one went in. As I said, I mean, it would be only football where PSG had gone so many years of being close, having the best players in the world, certainly as individuals, not getting the Champions League, and then they get one and they might just go and do another right afterwards. I mean, it is certainly a unique situation that we've very rarely ever seen in the Champions League and European Cup history. You know, PSG had never reached the final before 2020. Musiala tried to squeeze that one through. It's not onto the foot of Harry Kane, and it was somehow found its way to Safonov. As I was saying, before 2020, PSG never reached a Champions League final in their history. The furthest they'd ever reached before that was a quarter-finals back in 2016. And they lost to Manchester City. And then after that final, they went back to the semi-finals the year after, lost to City, reached the semi-finals in 2024 before they lost to Dortmund, and then finally got themselves over the line last season, beating Inter 5-0 in the final. A commanding victory to claim their first Champions League trophy in the club's history. That's nicely done by Pavlovic. Joshua Kimmich's found a gap of space for Elise, who hooks it to Harry Kane. His shot was blocked there by Pacho. Here's Fabian Ruiz finding Kavika Kvaratskhelia. A roll back on Konrad Laimer, and a pull on the Georgian is going to get PSG a free kick. Now Konrad Laimer has his work cut out tonight, playing right back for Bayern Munich. Of course, Alphonso Davies played left back last week, and Stanisic played right back. Of course, Stanisic gone to left back tonight for this one, and Laimer in a position that he has played quite a few times in his career at right back, Konrad Laimer. And the Austrian comes in for this one. He did play in the game against Heidenheim at the weekend. Started in midfield for that one. And the man he's replacing tonight got a late assist for Michael Elise in the 100th minute to secure a 3-3 draw for Bayern. That's a lovely little touch by Harry Kane, who's led off Michael Elise down the right channel. Elise trying to dribble his way through Nuno Mendes, who can't really make much contact with the yellow card as he blocks it behind. And the last touch off Elise. That will be a goal kick. They wanted a corner there, Bayern. The referee pointed straight ahead of him. Gives a goal kick. See it again. It's really tight. To me, it might have hinted at a corner, I would say, rather than a goal kick there. Well, there's no shortage of legends of Bayern Munich, and they're all in attendance tonight, all watching on, hoping that they can once again reach a Champions League final and try and add to the illustrious history this club has in this competition. Stanisic. Decent response from Bayern Munich to going 1-0 down so early on. They've responded well. Certainly had the better of the possession since PSG opened the scoring. Here's Laimer. Olise. Inside it comes. Musiala trying to measure one out wide to Olise again, but Mendes got in the way of that. Albeit though, nicked away. Joshua Kimmich going for the cross. Too deep. Harry Kane was nowhere near that one. Look at that. Zaire Emery. His pocket was picked there by Luis Diaz. Cut across. Olise couldn't force it in. And it's just about cleared away, but not very far as Laimer keeps it here. The Bayern player down in the mix. They'll play on for the moment. So they give the ball away now. And they haven't stopped it. So now PSG on the breakaway. Kvaratskhelia is away. He's not got much help though. He's going to go all on his own here, Kvaratskhelia. He's only going to try. And he's won the corner out of Jonathan Tah. Fabulous. Fabulous. Jamal Musiala in a bit of a pain here. Has an issue, so it's a bit of a worry for Vincent Kompany. Well, we do have this stoppage in play. We'll see this PSG corner. I do apologise, I'm certainly having some technical problems at the moment. Something I'll try and resolve right now. I do have some issues, but PSG have the corner then. Something I'm trying to resolve. Taken short. Got back to the edge of the box. Mendes' cross was cleared away. Here is Desiree Doué down the left. Zaire Emery on the opposite side. Fabian Ruiz. Mendes back to Vitinha. PSG have a bit of control for the moment. Kane. Pavlovic couldn't find the ball through. That's cleared away. It's Conrad Leimer recycled. Nicely picked up here. Olise slipped there. And Doué was on the scene to pick up the ball. And we'll go out for a throw-in to PSG. We're going to have to go to an alternative route because I can tell you now, been messing up so far, the feed that I have, but hopefully it's recovered. It's the best I can do. I'm trying my best. We're having upgrades tomorrow, so fingers crossed this problem will never happen again, but it's a pain, an absolute pain. Anyway, here's Luis Diaz. Haven't really seen much of him so far. Still very early doors though. Diaz going for the switch ball. Chested down by Olise. Nuno Mendes right on the scene to try and close it down, and ultimately Olise gives away the foul. It's going to be a PSG free kick. Yeah, definitely a foul. Well, in UEFA Champions League history, only one team has ever scored 5 goals in a knockout match and then been eliminated in that tie. Man City against Monaco in the last 16. In 2016-17, they were 5-3 in the first leg. 5-3 winners the first leg. Lost 3-1 in the second leg, and of course ultimately lost on away goals, which was, I mean, mental. That PSG don't want to follow suit on that. They did score 5 in the first leg. If they're beaten tonight, they will be only the second team in history that's ever done that, along with City. Bayern, who've shown a bit of threat so far, certainly haven't had a shot on target yet, which would be a slight concern for Vincent Kompany. Long throw by Mendes into the midfield. Cut out by Pavlovic. Brought down by Musiala, who's seemingly recovered from his earlier problem. Again, oh, a little slip by Vitinha has allowed Harry Kane onto the ball. You also with Kimmich, he run into trouble. Very industrious tonight, PSG. Very physical so far, as here's Desiree Doué running at Jonathan Tah, cuts onto his right foot. Still breaking away is Doué, and he was brought over. Vitinha does well though to evade the challenge and find Kvaratskhelia. Kvaratskelia's deflected effort taken into the hands of Manuel Neuer. And now a spring of counter from Bayern Munich. Here's Harry Kane. 5 streaming forward in red. Header away by Vitinha, but bounces out to Diaz onto his right foot. Luis Diaz lays it out wide. Clip ball in by Pavlovic, looking for Elise. Drops here for Konrad Laimer. Back to Elise. He lays it off. Kimmich's cross. Headed away by Pacho. And Bayern recycle the possession quickly. Electric pace this game is being played at the moment. Here's Diaz again, up against Zaire Emery. Diaz spins his man, trips him up. Diaz couldn't get the shot on target, but that was much better from Luis Diaz. Applause from his manager. And a response of rampant noise from the crowd. Beautiful skill. And he's been torn to pieces there, Warren Zaire Emery. I mean, that's what Luis Diaz can do to you. And he was just an accurate finish away from an unbelievable goal. That's the quality the Colombian possesses. How incredible a season he's had. 26 goals, 17 assists in 47 games for Bayern this season. There's 43 goal involvements in 47 games. It's an incredible ratio for the winger. He really has blossomed since his move from Liverpool in the summer. Actually only scored 35 goals in his 3 full seasons at Liverpool before this one. He's only 9 away from breaking that record in 1 season at Bayern Munich. Of course, a very different challenge. He's already broken his assist record this season. He's only assisted 12 goals for Liverpool in those 3 full seasons. 17 this season. I mean, Luis Diaz, incredible level of production. I mean, from all 3 of those front players for Bayern this season. An incredible level of output. "23 minutes gone, Bayern Munich 0, PSG 1. They scored 20 minutes ago, the European champions. Yet no response from Bayern Munich as of yet. Bayern scored the first goal of the first leg. PSG were 2-1 up within 15 minutes. Here's Warren Zaire Emery. Dembele. Zaire Emery will play it back to Marquinhos. And Vitinha will hand it back to William Pacho. Now to Fabian Ruiz. Nuno Mendes. Going to go with a little 1-2 with Kvaratskhelia, but Mendes felt he was fouled by Laimer, but the referee said no chance. Those two have looked dangerous so far. It's where the goal comes from, down that left-hand side, and Kvaratskhelia little 1-2s. Neuer launches up the field, looking for Kane, cut away by Pacho. Second ball brought down by Konrad Laimer. Upamecano back to Jonathan Tah. Great press by PSG to win it back. Vitinha. Now Kvaratskhelia. Nice evasion there from Vitinha as he plays it back to Pacho. They've just got this command, that air of just calmness about them, PSG. A solid, strong start has just gone to grow this confidence level that is already sky high in the European champions. Look at that touch from Luis Enrique. You never lose it, do you? Fabulous from him. Vitinha. Warren Zaire-Emery. Well, the only shot on target produced the one and only goal of this second leg so far. The 10th of this tie. And I am certain that it won't be the last. Certainly will not be. That ball wayward. There's a PSG player down in a heap. It is, I think it's Willian Pacho again, who was caught. It was at Nuno Mendes. But Deo Upamecano's the one in shot. Maybe the guilty party there. That situation. We'll see it again. This is a clash between Upamecano and Nuno Mendes. Mendes just tries to jump out of the way and ends up colliding with Upamecano. It's one of those ones. Although Bayern Munich have overturned the first leg deficit 4 times out of 16 previous ties in the Champions League. They've been in the last 16 stage 3 times and quarterfinals once. They've lost the first leg in 5 previous semi-finals and been eliminated each time. Not a record you want coming into the night, and now trailing 1-0 on the evening. Harry Kane. And to swing that ball wide, beautifully worked to Michael Olise, who's got the run on Nuno Mendes here. Olise onto his left, and that one was angling towards the far corner, just a little high. And that's gone for a goal kick. Yeah, not too far over. Beautiful from Olise, keeping Nuno Mendes guessing as to what way he was going to go, and he's always going to chop back onto that left foot, you know it. And as he does, just angles it a little high. Not too far. It's hard to criticise it. A beautiful attempt. Just a little high in the end, but some warning signs for PSG. As Olise brought down there in the middle by Fabian Ruiz, who, of course, we kind of forget with Warren Zaire-Emery playing such a key role for PSG at times this season in midfield. We forget how impactful this midfield 3 was last season en route to the Champions League victory. They were in probably one of the best midfields in Europe, if not the best in the world at the time. They were just so in sync with each other. We kind of talked about it, the creativity of Fabian Ruiz, the industrious nature of Vitinha, and just the pure passing quality of João Neves. They just combined into this incredible attack, kind of midfield trio that were unstoppable across Europe. They were absolutely incredible. Ruiz back in the team tonight via that injury. Well, Conrad Leimer is calling for handball. There's a Nuno Mendes already on a yellow card. They're calling for a second yellow here. The referee is saying to get away. Well, Nuno Mendes. Well, look at this. Vincent Kompany's gone nuts. The coaching staff aren't happy. Now the VAR will have a say or not, but of course they can't involve themselves in second yellows, but it's handball, but it's harsh. I mean, it's here. It's under his arm. It catches him on the underarm. I would get it if it was a blatant little touch to the ball with his hand, but it's not enough for me. Not enough. It shows how fine a tightrope that Nuno Mendes has to walk on a yellow card. They'll fight for anything, Bayern, and who can blame them? You can't really blame them. That's how important this game is. That's nice from Joshua Kimmich. Leimer in the corner to Pavlovic, but Joshua Kimmich will pick up. He will launch forward, looking for the run of Leimer, who progressed forward. He's the furthest man forward as he couldn't take it in. Ruiz clears. Recycled by Joshua Kimmich. And Harry Kane's quality. Receiving the ball here. Luis Diaz now up against Marquinhos. Keeping going. Luis Diaz finds Pavlovic. He Out muscles Warren Zaire-Emery here. Forced out to the left channel though. Again, they're fighting for it, Bayern, but not quite having the quality. Oh, Safonov got that one all wrong. And now there's a handball claim of Warren Zaire-Emery. They're going mental again, Bayern Munich. The referee again says no handball. That's the second controversial handball decision the referee's made already. This one inside the box, which is much, much more impactful to the game than the first would have been. It's a clearance. João Neves, I mean, he has his arm in the air. I mean, I understand. I mean, in no way do I think that's a penalty, but in the Champions League, that is handball. We've seen it given so many times before for such, I mean, less blatant moments where the ball hit the arm. But that one is as clear as you think. As clear as it can be. Look. I mean, Vincent Kompany, furious, and rightfully so. I think that should have been given, but goodness me. Rightfully infuriated by Munich at that being, and PSG have had to ride their luck a little bit. They rode their luck massively there, getting away with that one. Both sides had penalty goals in the first leg. Actually, all four teams in the first legs scored a penalty, which is a unique little stat. Stanisic there, committing the foul. That's going to be a yellow card as well. Bayern certainly not feeling they're getting the rub of the green when it comes to the refereeing decisions so far. And it's a foul on Desiree Doué, no doubt about it. And Josip Stanisic is into the book. The referee gets the game back underway. Well, let's see what this PSG free kick has in store. Vitinha swung in with the right foot, right to the back post, headed across. What a save by Neuer. João Neves' header was directed towards that far corner, and a fabulous save by Manuel Neuer to stop him. Wonderful delivery by Vitinha, and João Neves just as nonchalantly as you like, little flick with the head. Glances it onto the ground, it bounces back up, and Neuer gets an incredibly strong left hand to it. Great goalkeeping. João Neves scored PSG's second goal from a corner with his head last week, and he was so close to giving PSG a second goal tonight with his head. There's Neuer saying to his fans there not to be throwing anything onto the field. It's very unsavoury scenes we don't like to see. We don't condone that by any stretch. And a lighter has been retrieved. We feel there by the referee that was thrown on, which of course we very much do not condone, and disgusting behaviour. You feel you have to throw objects onto the field at any stage. PSG corner taken short. Side of Emery. Vitinha tried to shoot from range, but that one's going to deflect, and that's going to go for another corner to PSG. Yeah, this beautiful free kick delivery. Just the perfect weight, the perfect height. And he just has to direct it, João Neves. The pace and power is on it. All he has to do is direct it, and he does perfectly. Neuer with a fabulous save. Here's Nuno Mendes. Chops onto his right foot. He's going to shoot. That's going to deflect. And that's going to end up into the hands of the Bayern goalkeeper. Doesn't hold on to it long. Diaz was blocked on Elise. Got there but caught it all wrong. That's going to bubble out for a throw, I think, to PSG in their own half. Well, the counter-attack was on there. Neuer got that ball up the field really quickly. Good defending by Zaire-Emery, but the second ball picked up by Elise. And Safonov was off his line, and he tried to beat him first time, but he got it all wrong. Elise with a connection. The last 10 minutes of the first half, that's flew by so far. Just the one goal. I said that as if it hasn't been another great game of football. It's been much more tense between the two. That's nice though from Bayern. Stanisic come over to this right hand side, swings in a wonderful cross. Kane is able to chest it down on the left side and feed it to Jonathan Tah, who's direct. Finds Diaz, who's evading pressure. Finding Harry Kane again. Bayern with slightly more of the ball so far. Upamecano down the right, finds Elise. Feeds it into Stanisic, who couldn't find the opportunity to take control of the ball. Here's Pavlovic. Holds it off to Tah, who pokes it out wide. No room there for Pavlovic to retrieve, and Desiree Doué playing it back to Zaire-Emery, and Marquinhos hooking it up the field. Oh, a cheap giveaway there by Upamecano, and a bit of space in behind here for PSG to break. It's Desiree Doué. Kvaratskhelia trying the cross. Blocked. Kept alive. Kvaratskelia's cross was deflected. It will be another PSG corner. Well, the rate of which they break is frightening PSG. Bayern again putting themselves into trouble there with Upamecano's poor pass. It's just allowed PSG to break. Kvaratskhelia being, he's a workhorse. Here we Kvaratskhelia. There's no stopping him. And they have the corner here. Taken short again by Dembele. Little 1-2. Swung in from the right hand side. Tah gets it away. It's up by Mendes. Now Vitinha has to play it all the way back here. Safonov goes long. Loose header. Brought down by Jonathan Tah. I think if Bayern can find an equaliser before half-time, if they can snatch a goal before the break, there might be very much something in this for them, but PSG with a lead, they're commanding. Their press is really strong. There hasn't been as many clear-cut chances as there was in the first leg, no doubt about it, but certainly the quality is still there from both teams. Stanisic hooks one up the field. Harry Kane's trying to hang off the back of defenders, but very, very strong again with PSG in the middle. And Vitinha wins a free kick there. Fabulous. Really, really smart. That's what I mean. It's not even just the quality they possess, it's the intelligence. Just know to take that touch. Know the challenge is coming. Just win the free kick. Just eke out a couple more seconds. Run the clock out a little bit. Just take the sting out of it. That massively benefits PSG to slow the game down. Be much more physical. That's a giveaway though, cheaply by Nuno Mendes. And here's Elise. Again, no room to progress. Another cheap giveaway by PSG though. In possession. Upamecano. Pavlovic down the left hand channel it comes. Here's Luis Diaz. Got Zaire-Emery again on toast, and ultimately Luis Diaz couldn't get the cross in, and it crossed the byline first. Goal kick. Well, Vincent Kompany trying to get some instructions on to his players. Doué trying to threaten him behind Upamecano, but it's going to be a throw in to Bayern. It's a very interesting, unique position that Bayern find themselves in at the minute. Lovely ball by Deo Upamecano. And he's found Luis Diaz, who's charging into the PSG area. A bit of space as he tried to... don't know whether he tried to go for the shot or roll it on to Harry Kane, but either way, it ends up into the hands of Safonov. And the PSG goal. Luis Diaz seems to be the real threat, the real outball for Bayern in the wide areas. Neuer. He's casually coming out and heading the ball at the edge of his box. Gotta love it. Seen it all, done it all. Has all the souvenirs. Does Manuel Neuer. Needs to add another Champions League title to his name. Work needs to be done from his attackers if they're gonna try and produce a comeback in this semi-final. Joshua Kimmich. Michael Olise down the right-hand side. Musiala making the run. He's got on his way to Vitinha. Musiala swings it across Safonov with a save and the clearance by Ruiz. First time really on the right-hand side we've seen that danger from Bayern. And it's Jamal Musiala as Olise kind of just opens up and around down the touchline, just opens that gap for Musiala to break into down the right channel. It's the space they just haven't been able to occupy so far, Bayern. Really threatened from. Something to really watch. A long ball by Neuer, taken down well by Harry Kane. Now Olise rolls it wide for Konrad Laimer, who clips it across. A little high for Diaz, and the body's in the mix there for Bayern. And that ultimately ends up crumbling down with a throw-in to PSG. It's going to be a PSG throw deep in their own half. 2.5 minutes to go with the first half, and I think they'll be very pleased with how this first half's gone. PSG, they lead by a goal to nil, so their advantages gap is widened. They're the only the two teams with shots on target. Bayern without a shot on target yet. 5 shots, none on target. 6 for PSG, 3 on target. Alexander Pavlovic, now Harry Kane. Again facing away from goal. Finally Joshua Kimmich, and now Konrad Laimer. Down the right channel is Olise. Quickly closed out by Fabian Ruiz, who stepped in well. Challenged cleanly. Nuno Mendes, though, a cheap giveaway. Really sloppy there. Certainly not had his best game so far, Nuno Mendes. He's really struggled down that side. Olise with a lovely little flick, and it's opened the space here for Jamal Musiala. Good save by Safonov. Well, the space opened up, gaping hole in the PSG defence, and it all came from that little audacious flick by Michael Olise. Well, here's another runner. Pavlovic cuts it back to Musiala, who's come alive. Jamal Musiala. He's starting to cause some threat. Couple of chances. He's the one making the difference at the minute for Bayern in that attacking area. That one just swung wide, but this straight effort. It's a good save by Safonov, but a little bit close to the goalkeeper, a bit too central really. Jamal Musiala came ever so close to making it 1-1 on the night. Said it's a quiet first half from Musiala, but certainly started to get himself much more into the game in the last few minutes. Jonathan Tah. Joshua Kimmich to Upamecano. Down the line to Olise. Takes on Nuno Mendes. Chops inside this time. A little help from Ruiz, but Olise keeps a hold of the ball. Kimmich. Stanisic. Laid off to Jamal Musiala. Twisting and turning in the shots over the crossbar. More applause from Vincent Kompany. The Bayern manager and his players' efforts so far, as we will have 2 added minutes at the end of the first half. 2 additional minutes. And at the moment, it is PSG with daylight in this tie, and with Bayern with a lot of work to do if they are to fight back into this massively. They're showing danger, with ultimately without the goals to show for it. Upamecano again prods that one through, finding Musiala. Off to Pavlovic. That was a poor forward pass, that, from Alexander Pavlovic. Diaz went on a run and Pavlovic wasn't on the same page. PSG throw. A reminder for you, the 2026 Champions League final, Saturday the 30th of May, a 5 PM UK time kickoff. As, Arsenal will host either Bayern or PSG in the Champions League final in Budapest, Saturday the 30th of May. Leimer. Ulisse. Well closed out by Fabian Ruiz. Another Bayern throw in. Last 30 seconds of the first half. Bayern trying to snatch a goal before the break, but PSG have been resolute. That was again sloppy play. Ultimately won back though by Stanisic. That was well cut out. That direct ball picked up by Pavlovic. Kyozo Kimmich. He was clipped and he's going to win the free kick there. We'll have one last free kick before the half. And Kavika Kvaratskhelia is going to get himself a yellow card here for delaying the restart. You know, Kvaratskhelia has got a yellow card. I'm not going to type it all out because that's a very long name to type out. Right, free kick to Bayern Munich, just inside the PSG half. Surely their last attacking chance of the first half. Joshua Kimmich over this free kick. Flicked into the area, back post, and the header is directed wide. Another chance, another one gone a begging, and I think it might be Jonathan Tah. It is clean free header. I mean, it's as best a chance as you could ask for in that area, and he directs it wide. As the halftime whistle now goes, a first half where Bayern have pushed and probed. They've ultimately huffed and puffed and they haven't been able to find a way past the European champions. In contrast, it took them less than 3 minutes, PSG, to find their first goal and only goal of the night so far. Ousmane Dembele duly dispatching the ball into the roof of the net inside just 3 minutes. And at half-time in the Allianz Arena, it is all going the way of the European champions. Bayern Munich 0, PSG 1. PSG lead by 6 goals to 4 on aggregates.
Remember, you don't get it twice. The time of your life.
Kane, little run up, fires it into the bottom right corner. And that is a priceless opening goal in this Champions League semi-final for Bayern Munich. Kvaratskhelia onto his right foot, and he tucks it in. And the European champions are back on level terms, which will get PSG a corner. Ousmane Dembele to take, right-footed. Headed on and in by João Neves. But he has given PSG a crucial lead now. Here's Elise gone central. Has space to break forward and absolutely rifles that one home. Dembele tucks it in. Neuer dived the right way, but the accuracy of the finish from Ousmane Dembele has given PSG a third goal. Drops for Kvaratskhelia. 4-2 PSG. Easing his way past defenders, and now Dembele onto his right foot, and it's found the inside of the post. And Dembele makes it 5. Joshua Kimmich with this Bayern free kick. Headed on and in by Upamecano. 5-3. Harry Kane, that's a lovely ball to Diaz, who takes the touch. Then another touch and another goal. 5-4. There is the final whistle. An absolute thriller to start the Champions League semi-finals. It's finished PSG 5, Bayern Munich 4. Welcome back to Champions League Live halftime in Munich. It is Bayern Munich 0, PSG 1 on night. It is PSG who lead by 6 goals to 4 on aggregate, so a commanding 2-goal advantage for the European champions at the break. And a huge second half to come, as you would expect in this one. Certainly a very important second 45 for these two teams. We have had to make some half-time adjustments. We told you in the first half that we've had some technical difficulties. Well, those are... so we've had to go for a bit of a readjustment. And we do apologise about that, but there's very little we can do about that. So, at the best, we're going to try and continue as best as we can. But, certainly, you have to roll with the punches at times. And certainly, in these big nights, technology always finds a way to annoy us. But a big second half, no doubt about it, to come. Bayern Munich have to really... This is where their season come down to it. Of course, they've won the Bundesliga. They're in the Pokal final. Their treble hopes come down to tonight. Remember, they've had multiple chances. But certainly, you'd have to say the European champions have been the better team in and out of possession. But it all might come down to the one chance that might win this. And that is certainly where this game can spin in the second half. Welcome back, by the way, to Champions League Live. Thank you very much for joining us. Big second half to come. Before that, don't forget to like, subscribe and turn on post notifications if you haven't done so already. That'd be greatly appreciated. Thank you very much for spending your evening with us here on LFS for our final semi-final second leg. It is 1-0 to PSG at the moment. And we are awaiting the players who emerge from the tunnel for the second half here in Munich. There's no need for real half-time team talks. It's winner you're right, really, from Bayern's point of view. They needed to win tonight by any score to keep themselves in the tie, at least to extra time and then possibly penalties. They needed to win by 2 clear goals, Bayern, if they were to progress ultimately in terms of in the 90 minutes, really. That task is still on for Bayern Munich. Just readjusting again. Apologies. We'll be looking off to this side in the second half, so it's certainly a different vibe, but we've worked with it before. It's happened before. Well, Vitinha is getting a bit of a rub down as he comes out for the second half. Bayern are taking their time. They're in no hurry here, certainly, to come out for the second half. They're leaving us, keeping us waiting. as they trundle down the tunnel at the Allianz. And of course, you know, at this point, Bayern have to have the next goal. If there's going to be another goal in this tie, which I suspect there is, I said it earlier on, I don't think that the scoring's done tonight. But if they're gonna, if there's going to be a next goal, Bayern certainly have to find it. If PSG go 2-0 up on the night, 3 goals up on aggregate, you have to say it's surely beyond Bayern at that point. Really, the European champions have it all in their grasp. But you know, Vincent Kompany knows his side need to have the next goal. They need to get it. They've no choice now. They've had to battle their way through this tie already. They're going to have to battle some more in this second half. And some. To progress to the Champions League final. No changes, by the way, at half-time for either team. So, as you were from the first half. And it is about to go back underway. Anytime soon, we are back underway for the second half. PSG kick it straight out from the kickoff of the second half. Very interesting way of starting the second half. And the European champions. And Elise already trying to make a run down that right-hand side. And he got himself involved as he sees it out for the throw that will come Bayern's way. Taken quickly, and they try and work it into the area, but Musiala was closed off there. Upamecano to Konrad Laimer. It's so important that Bayern just keep the pressure on PSG. They were able to kind of create that little bit of momentum before half-time. A couple of moments from Jamal Musiala. He created a few chances, but they've got to keep the pressure on Bayern. Reassert that control. Stanisic across to Ta. Back towards Stanisic, but again, not on the same page there. It's those sloppy passes that just appease PSG. They're very happy to see a misplaced ball from Bayern. It runs the clock out. It just slows the tempo with the game down. And as we said in the first half, it's exactly what PSG will want in this second half. They'll not worry about keeping the tempo up. They'll attack in their moments, but they'll not go over the top. As William Pacho's down here. PSG were about to play on there, but the referee is just going to stop it to allow William Pacho to receive some treatment, or at least check up on the PSG centre back. He was caught there in the middle. Certainly a very physical attribute. Here we see it here. Oh, he's kind of clipped by Harry Kane. He got the ball cleanly, did Harry Kane, but William Pacho dipped his head quite a bit down there. Slightly clipped by the Englishman. There's nothing in it in terms of a foul, but it's a painful one for William Pacho. Certainly, no doubt about that. Look at those fans. Their team need 2 goals without reply to keep themselves in this tie, and they are bouncing all around the Allianz Arena. If there's ever a way to get behind your team, it's that. There's never a way to give your team belief that something can still happen here. There's William Pacho sitting up now, which is good to see. And of course, these two are the leading scorers in the Champions League this season. PSG with now 44 goals after their goal tonight, and Bayern with 42. The record for goals scored in a European Cup campaign all time since 1955 is 45 goals by Barcelona in 1999-2000. And PSG just need to score 1 goal to equal that record, 2 more, and they hold a new record. So a team that are doing the job and trying to break records in doing so. Well, game getting back underway then. Pacho okay. And hooked up the field by Safonov. Dealt with by Stanisic. Back to Manuel Neuer, who sends it thumping up the field. Emery. Minded here by Jamal Musiala, who was desperate to get to that ball, but PSG at the moment have it. Safonov, nice kick, taken down by Josue Kimmich, flicked over the top by Ta. Again, they just seem a little bit desperate at the minute, Bayern Munich. Trying to rush themselves. It's just creating some sloppy passes, a little bit of loose play. And it's just not allowing them to create momentum or apply any sort of real pressure to PSG at the minute. PSG are able to just compound it, able to just fend it off quite comfortably. Neuer picks that one forward again. Elise tried to get involved, but going to bounce behind, and Neuer's going to have to comfort again as he does. Upamecano. 5 minutes going to the second half. Very little's happened so far, certainly, with William Pacho's injury. That's going to be a free kick. Harry Kane pushing his man down, and that's going to be a foul. And it's William Pacho again who's down here. In more pain. That's the second time he's gone down in the last couple of minutes. Certainly been targeted, it seems, William Pacho in this second half. Of course, not intensely, obviously. Marquinhos down the right channel, flicked on by Doué. That one's going to be dealt with by Jonathan Tah ahead of Desiree Doué. And Josip Stanisic. A 1-2 with Musiala. Now Harry Kane. He was closed out well, but Musiala picking up the loose ball, and he felt he was fouled. Referee is going to pull it back now for the free kick. As Kimmich goes for the switch. Again, not quite accurate towards Olise, but picked up with a second ball by Konrad Laimer. Now Olise off the right hand side, up against Nuno Mendes. Beats past Kvaratskhelia too. Olise lays it off here to Diaz. Going for the shot. Stanisic, wide it goes to Kane. Harry Kane trying to eke out an effort. That one well closed out. Yeah, they're pushing here, Bayern, but again, PSG seem comfortable out of possession to just deal with this pressure. Certainly would be much more uncomfortable if Bayern were able to be more threatening with these chances. Certainly be a more pertinent test to the PSG goalkeeper. Pavlovic trying to break it apart. Nicely picked up by Vitinhas. Doué wanted the first time ball to Kvaratskhelia, but that didn't quite work out. Here's Olise. That light side of the boot pass towards Diaz, but again, he runs into trouble. Certainly both defences have been much stronger tonight than they were in the first legs. They've played their part massively tonight. Really strong on the cover. The attackers just haven't had all the space and time that they did last week. They had all the time and space they could have ever wanted in the game last week, but certainly not the case tonight. Very much the opposite. Much tighter game in those physical battles, and certainly at the moment very little between them once again. I'll switch back to this screen for the moment. And we'll try and keep you right in the mix as see that between Harry Kane and Marquinhos. Yeah, Harry Kane certainly come off the worst, but he's much more made of tougher stuff than that, Harry Kane. He's up and okay. But it is a free kick in a dangerous area here for Bayern Munich. An opportunity, 53.5 minutes gone, and a chance to try and threaten from a set piece. It was a similar situation when they scored their third goal last week, Bayern, from a free kick that Upamecano headed in, but Josip Kimmich goes short this time to Luis Diaz. Edge of the box for Pavlovic, who again tried to place one. And that accuracy was way off from Alexander Pavlovic. Again, a well-worked free kick. Josip Kimmich pinged it out to the left-hand channel for Luis Diaz. He just cut it back across the edge of the box. No one within 5 yards of Alexander Pavlovic. And he makes an absolute meal of the finish. Oh, a really poor effort. Ultimately, really poor effort. That's what's kind of come down to tonight at times. Bayern's finishing has been of a lower standard, lower quality, really. Said they've had only one shot on target from their 10 shots that they've attempted tonight. If they can get one right, they're very much back into this tie, so it's not done and dusted by any stretch, but they need to find a goal from somewhere, Bayern Munich. Cleared away by Ruiz. It's up by Upamecano, who tried to battle with Kvaratskhelia. The Georgian wins out. Now PSG with space up the field here to progress. Vitinha finds Desire Doué with a bit of space here for PSG. Goes for the shot. Well saved by Manuel Neuer, who parried it away from danger, but fabulous from Desire Doué to get the shot off there. There was 4 Bayern players converging on him and he still got the shot away. Incredible. And Josip Kimmich goes for the switch again. Not quite working out that ball to the right channel in this second half. They've cut it out nearly every time, PSG. Fabian Ruiz. Kavika Kvaratskhelia chops inside. Then back outside the fullback. Kvaratskhelia! Good save again by Neuer. Really good from Kvaratskhelia. Drives infield, sends all the defenders narrow. It comes back outside, has all the time and space he would have wanted there in the area. Unless he struck it well, low and hard with his left foot. Really good save by Manuel Neuer. He's made 2 big saves in the last couple of minutes. The Bayern keeper. Here's Elise up against Nunes. Nuno Mendes, in behind it goes. And Safonov got there just ahead of Harry Kane. And I mean just. Keeper to keeper there. The ball comes out to Jonathan Tah here. Pavlovic. Leimer. Olise. Inside to Konrad Leimer. Picked up the space here. Finding Stanisic. Out to the left it goes to Luis Diaz. Chops onto his right foot. Diaz, little interchange of play. Lovely little 1-2. Though Diaz couldn't pick up the second ball. Nicely done, but just well cut out by the PSG defence again. Warren Zaire-Emery and Marquinhos there, doubling up on Luis Diaz. 2 big saves from Manuel Neuer in the last couple of minutes. One from Desire Doué, the other from Kavika Kvaratskhelia. 2 good saves by the 40-year-old. Those 2, if either of them had a win in, surely would have felt like the end of the road for Bayern, even though there's still a long way to go. But 2-goal PSG lead on the night, a 3-goal aggregate lead is seemingly insurmountable. But one, you never know. Elise trying to come deeper to get a run on the ball, and he's charging forward here. Elise completely unchallenged at the moment. Everybody retreating for PSG, and Elise, as he had a man in front of him in Vitinha, who breaks it apart and cuts that attack completely. As Nuno Mendes said, no pass on there. Bit more end to end. Pavlovic down the left now to Luis Diaz. Chops onto his left, cuts it back. Blocked by Marquinhos and cleared away. Much more aggressive from Bayern Munich. No choice but to be more aggressive. pushing much higher up the field. Pavlovic, Kane in between the lines, finds Musiala. Just waits for the right moment as Elise peels off his man. Elise back to Musiala. Rolls it on to Pavlovic, cuts it back to Joshua Kimmich, and the referee gets in the way, but again, just too passive. I mean, they're popping it around the edge of the box for fun. Just have a shot. Someone try and hit something. Well organised PSG are. I mean, it's easy for me to say, but a lot easier said than done. Get a good shot off. Jamal Musiala breaks away from his man, but a little heavy touch there. João Neves back in. And I think it gone actually behind for a goal kick anyway. Before he had the ball nicked away from Jamal Musiala, just crossed the byline. Well, we're at the hour mark inside the Allianz Arena. Bayern Munich needing 2 goals to level this tie once again on aggregates. PSG playing the perfect game, both in and out of possession. They've been really strong tonight, PSG, but if Bayern can get a bit of momentum going, that can change in an instant. Looks like some changes from Bayern. That's a lovely ball to Alexander Pavlovic. Lays it off to Leimer. His cross was blocked. Drops for Joshua Kimmich. He keeps it alive. Now Leimer. Pavlovic again. Lays it off to Stanisic, who tried to drive one into the bottom corner, but again comfortably gathered by Safonov. Again, he's trying to break the lines a little bit more now, Alexander Pavlovic. Being more progressive than he was in the first half. It's maybe down to the nature that Bayern just have to push forward a little bit more, and everybody's further up the field, but trying his hardest there, Pavlovic, to impact from midfield. His late runs towards the box. As I said, they are readying some possible changes here at Bayern Munich. It looked like Alphonso Davies, who was the only change from the first leg, looks to be ready and waiting to come on. As Doué just run into his man there, but PSG keep the ball as Warren Zaire-Emery breaks down the right here. Stanisic for company. As he plays it back to Desiré Doué. He just settles the ball back with Marquinhos. Looks like both sides are going to make a change in a moment. Bradley Barcola is also ready and waiting to enter the fray for PSG. Kvaratskhelia run into trouble again. Upamecano again trying that ball in behind, but ushered back to his goalkeeper by Marquinhos. Air of calmness and composure from the PSG defence tonight, led by that man Marquinhos. Oh, great throw by Safonov. João Neves to Zaire-Emery. Nice ball by Vitinha. Here's Zaire-Emery again. Doué. Kvaratskhelia back to Doué. Beautiful one-touch football. Desiré Doué bricking forward. Ultimately run into Stanisic. That attack broke down, but it was building into something nicely there for PSG. Well cut out by the Bayern left back. Harry Kane in his own half, not where he wants to be. They need something different here, Bayern. PSG are so happy and comfortable. Just play like this to the final whistle. They need something different. Someone to change the game, someone to impact the play, someone to get PSG off kilter. Look at Desiré Doué charging away. He's got the pace. Has he got the finish? Neuer with another big save. I mean, it's wonderful counter-attacking from Desiree Doué. I mean, just the delicate touches that he takes, just to set the ball so perfectly for the shot. Desiree Doué struck another one there. 3 shots on target they've had in the second half alone, PSG. They had 3 in the whole of the first half. And Bayern still just 2 shots on target in the whole game. So here come the changes then, 25 minutes to go. Gonna see the PSG goal scorer Ousmane Dembele coming off. Bradley Barcola is going to replace him. And we're going to see a double change from Bayern. Actually, they were going to make just the one, but they've added a late addition to the changes then. But maybe going to wait a second on this PSG corner before they make the subs. Headed away at the near post by Stanisic. Runs down for Pavlovic. Stanisic hooks it up the field. Looking for Diaz, who's the only one up there. Trying to hold off his man. Nicely done by the PSG defenders though. And Bradley Barcola picks it up here on the right hand side. Some fresh legs in attack for PSG, just to add a bit more attacking threat. Albeit it's not an attack that's struggled with threat in the second half so far, despite being a bit more counter-attacking. That's a lovely ball in behind, weighted beautifully. And Nuno Mendes has broke away as he ultimately runs into Upamecano. Probably could have made more of that, Nuno Mendes, than he did ultimately. No one really in the middle though for PSG. A little bit harsh, I would have to say, from me there. Leimer. Nice play from Bayern. Again, it all comes crumbling down with a poor touch, but they've quickly retrieved it. Got it going again. Here's Musiala. Dribbling through players. Nice layoff here to Luis Diaz, who's coming across trying to find the shooting chance, but a sea of black shirts in front of him. Can't get the shot off Diaz, and has to pass it off in the end. Goes with Kimmich. Now Leimer. All on the right with Michael Olise. Everybody back for PSG. Ball clipped into the area. That one's too much on it. Towards Pavlovic, who was the target, but sealed behind for a goal kick. That's going to trigger the Bayern subs then. Alphonso Davies and Kim Min-jae are both going to be coming on. They're going to replace Josip Stanisic and Jonathan Tah. So 2 of the back 4 are coming off here for Bayern. And Kim, of course, replacing Tah at centre back. And Alphonso Davies will replace Stanisic. So I would suspect that Alphonso Davies will play, obviously, at full back, at left back, where Stanisic was playing. Lovely play in the middle here by Leimer. He's got much more advanced. That's a nice ball out to Diaz here. Takes the touch up against Marquinhos. Charging into the area. Diaz cuts back and was closed down well by Zaire Emery. Done well to try and block Diaz out of the game in that situation. But here he is in the middle. Good save out of Safonov. Great cross by Alphonso Davies. And Luis Diaz with a great chance there. Well stopped by Safonov, but they're pushing. Already right into the action, Alphonso Davies. Just on the field a couple of minutes. Not even a couple of minutes. A minute or so. And already put in a wonderful cross to try and find the a Bayern goal. But still no breakthrough for the hosts on the night where they need 2 goals at least to keep themselves in the Champions League, to keep themselves in the game. Here's Pavlovic. Recycles a nice ball out wide here to Michael Olise. Chops onto his left foot. Michael Olise again. Low, hard, driven shot into the hands of Safonov. Again, really good from Michael Olise. Tiptoes across the edge of the box, and as he gets the shot off, struck right clean through it, low and hard. And the shot ultimately taken in by Safonov, but they're getting more threat, certainly Bayern, in front of the goal, but haven't been able to convert it into goals as of yet. They've dominated possession, had more of the shots, certainly haven't had as many shots on target as PSG, which is a little bit of a worry, but we're starting to see one or two more of them. Here's Desiree Doué. Oh, absolutely sensational skill. The pass wasn't on though. A little flick to take it past two men. As Kim Min-jae tried to flick it on for Diaz, but again, PSG have been a yard ahead of Bayern in those moments all night, getting to the ball with just sheer determination to win it. The intensity of which they've played with their press out of possession, PSG's been fantastic. This from Desiree Doué. Oh, pure and utter filth, that little flick. Gorgeous on the byline too. And two players around him. Sheer class. Oh, lazy play there in the Bayern half from the hosts, given away cheaply. Kvaratskhelia. The shot from Doué is hit the side netting. Again, it was a blasted effort. See it here, it was poor play by Bayern. Lovely skill by Kvaratskhelia to get the ball to the Frenchman. And it's Desiree Doué struck clean through it. Struck it wide ultimately. He didn't have the accuracy at the end as Bayern ride the challenge there. Musiala finds Alphonso Davies. An progressive pass and has to go backwards, which is frustrating for the Canadian. Pavlovic directly through, finds Harry Kane with his back to goal. He plays it out wide to Olise. Olise! Lots of bodies in red shirts in the mix, but he couldn't find one of them. As Pavlovic tries to take control on the edge of the area. As Joshua Kimmich recycles. Less than 20 minutes to go. Time is ticking away from Bayern Munich. Olise trying to feint one in behind for Leimer. Bit of a desperate clearance there from Fabian Ruiz off balance. Goes out for a Bayern throw deep in the PSG half. Upamecano. Everybody squeezing in up the field. Give Bayern Munich ample pressure on the PSG defence. Here's Diaz. Swung it deep to the back post, Luis Diaz. Nuno Mendes able to pluck it from the air, and Fabian Ruiz sends it packing up the fields. Everybody forward but Manuel Neuer for Bayern Munich at the minute. Have to go all out for this now. They've no choice. Michael Olise again off the right, charging at Nuno Mendes, fires it across, and as it gets through, Willian Pacho with the sliding clearance to put it behind for the corner. That's garnered a bit of a noise from the crowd for really the first time in the second half, I'd have to say. Been a pretty low key, certainly in the Allianz Arena's standards. Swung ball in from the corner. Safonov got his hand to it. It wasn't the most confident of bits of goalkeeping. Goes out for the throw. Davies takes it quickly. Diaz. Kim finds Leimer. Low with the cross, cleared away by Pacho. Bouncing balls, an awkward one to deal with there for Alphonso Davies, and Bradley Barcola is breaking. And he takes a lovely little touch around the man there, and Alphonso Davies got his body in the way and his foot in the way. And that might be... Is that a corner? Or a throw-in? Look at that from Bradley Barker. Beautiful. Reads the bounce of the ball really well. Much better than Caoimhan Ferris. And ultimately, Alphonso Davies has to put his body on the line to clear the ball away from danger. But it's a throw-in just for PSG. I have to say, when it really has come down to it tonight, PSG's professionalism, quality, all over the pitch. Their just sheer mentality to come to the Allianz Arena and boss Bayern Munich in their own ground. European champions do. Desiree Doué into the box. Kvaratskhelia takes the touch, has the shot blocked. Going to drop for Doué here. He's taking it on to his left. He's going to shoot! And that one's again zip wide. He's had a handful of chances, Desiree Doué, in this second half. About 4 shots. He hasn't been able to convert one of them. And we're going to trigger some more substitutions. That was his last action, Desiree Doué, so he's coming off. And we're going to see the introduction of Luca Hernandez. And also, we're going to see the introduction of Lucas Beraldo. So Hernandez and Beraldo are coming on. And they're going to replace Desiree Doué and Fabian Ruiz. So just being a bit more solid, defensive. PSG take no unnecessary risks. Solidify defensively. Try and get this job done. 14 minutes till they... 14 minutes away from their 3rd Champions League final in their history. And their 2nd in as many seasons for PSG. If we get a goal from Bayern Munich, this stadium that's been a little bit muted in the second half will erupt, and it will cause a little bit of nervousness from PSG. But right now, I mean, the air of belief and confidence around this PSG team is, I mean, it's sky high. So much belief in what they're doing. And it works. I mean, that's why they have so much belief in it. It's successful, and has been successful. Harry Kane rode a challenge there. He keeps possession of the ball. He finds Alphonso Davies. Now Diaz. Pavlovic. To Kim. Out wide to Alphonso Davies. Rolls it in behind. Harry Kane looking to get on the end of it. Gets there ahead of Marquinhos. Back to the Canadian. Davies. Now Pavlovic. Again, lots of Bayern possession, but not much direct penetration towards the box. That's Diaz with a little flick. Rolls it through. Musiala. Diaz was taken out there on the edge of the box. And the referee saw no issue initially and is going to give a PSG free kick. And a yellow card for Luis Diaz. I don't know what the referee's seen there, but it looked like it was a Bayern free kick to me. Ooh. Oh, right. I understand it now. So, Luis Diaz runs into the man. The referee actually made a really good decision there, not giving the foul, and actually gave it the opposite way, because Luis Diaz handled the ball before any free kick that wasn't being given wasn't given. Jamal Musiala has been replaced by Nicholas Jackson for Bayern Munich, so some fresh attacking legs for Bayern, but need someone to find the net. Although here come PSG to really finish it off. Caoimhan Ferris with a huge block to stop Kavika Kvaratskhelia. You have to see the replay on that one, but Kvaratskhelia, the ball did not settle for him, and he still was able to get the touches. And a little bit of an air shot, really, that allowed the Korean defender to clear it away. But another very close call. for Bayern Munich in defence. A second goal goes in here. It's done and dusted, really. There's no doubt about that. And with 11 minutes on the clock. This is exactly the opposite of what Bayern need right now. They're trying to hold on to what they have, which is very little. Corner delivered in. Headed away, not very far. A cycle back out wide to Vitinha, the taker. Right footed delivery. It's a little deep. Taken in by Kvaratskhelia on the opposite side. And that working angle across. Does get the cross in low, but ultimately a block by Deo Upamecano on João Neves. It's going to give a corner. We enter the final 10 minutes here at the Allianz Arena. PSG leading by a goal to nil on the night. 6-4 in aggregate. A commanding lead that is on the verge of another Champions League final. The European champions. They're trying to defend their title. Swung in with the right foot from Vitinha. Headed away at the front post by Bayern as they want to spring a counter. Need to make something happen here. Elise again can't find it forward, and albeit they will get the free kick though, Bayern. Here is Alphonso Davies into Harry Kane. Little 1-2s. Davies swung it wide. Here's Jackson. Back to Alphonso Davies. And he's taken down in the edge of the box. That's going to be a free kick. Bradley Barcola with the cheap foul to give away. Well, what do you do from here? Yozo Kimmich. Do you go direct? Or do you go and try and find one of the main targets in the mix there? Yozo Kimmich from the free kick. Bodies in the area if he wants to find them. Bit left. Kimmich will swing it to back post, but the referee blew the whistle there as it was being taken, so it will be retaken. Wasn't happy with a bit of pushing and shoving there, the referee. So we will reset, and they'll have a second go at it. Bayern Munich. So Kimmich again. Delivers, swung deep. Safonov with a strong right hand clears it away of any danger. Trying to keep themselves in this PSG half. It's a lovely ball by Davis, swung wide to Luis Diaz. Almost gets entangled with the ball, but he finds Yozo Kimmich. Davies. Upamecano. Is it just not going to be Bayern Munich's night in the Champions League? Oh, another poor pass by Upamecano, and it's given away here. Nuno Mendes is going to try and beat Neuer, who was a little caught out there. Ultimately off target by Nuno Mendes, but again, Bayern have had to ride their luck a little bit to have any chance of getting back into this game, because the chances that PSG have created on the break, they surely should have taken them, at least one of them by now. Nicholas Jackson. I mean, the work rate of PSG, I said it in the first half, in and out of possession, they have been absolutely exceptional. Their pressing off the ball has been incredible tonight. They have run after every single opportunity. They've run after the ball, they've chased it down, they've not given Bayern any time and space to really command this match. And they've limited the attackers as best as they've can, and they've done a really good job of it, PSG, tonight. I said earlier, a terrifying attacking line to try and defend this Bayern team, but PSG have produced a master plan in how to stop them. And Bayern is going to be Harry Kane's going to be penalised for handball here, as he wanted a foul. Again not given, and he handled the ball on the ground. That's going to be a free kick to PSG. Well, it's the last roll of the dice for Vincent Kompany. Leonard Carl is going to be coming on to replace Deo Upamecano. The youngster who's delivered in Europe before. Is going to come on to try and make the difference here with single-digit minutes remaining. Nuno Mendes' race has run. Sene Mayulu is coming on here for PSG. And Nuno Mendes, who was booked very early in the game, he's had a tough job. He's had a bit of help on that left-hand side, but he did his job well, Nuno Mendes, defending Michael Olise. On a yellow card for nearly 80 minutes. 5 minutes of normal time to go. And Bayern are seeing their chances of a 7th Champions League title coming to the Allianz Arena dwindling away by the second. And PSG seeing a 2nd Champions League trophy in their sights. And another final in their sights, very much so. Luis Enrique's side at the moment manage this game to perfection. Marquinhos been given a yellow card there. There's Diaz again, crowded out by 4 PSG players around him. I have to say, we talk so much about PSG's attacking threat, their midfield creativity, the way they dominate the ball, but the way they've been able to drop deep, sit deep, really just be so resolute and concentrated defensively in this second half when Bayern have had so much of the ball, have been chasing the game. The way their concentration levels have not dipped one bit, PSG, right the way throughout this second half. Really, really impressive. It's the quality that this side possesses. It's the work rate that just underpins everything that PSG do. Yes, they have all the skill and quality you would ever want in a team, but I said it last week, they fight for each other. They fight for every single little moment. And they play as a fully connected team. Certainly PSG teams that weren't successful in Europe certainly didn't play as a team. They were a group of individuals. Oh, what a touch by Luis Diaz here, and he's broken behind. Opportunity for Bayern Munich right at the death here. Given off to Joshua Kimmich, blocked. Follow up by Leimer is cleared. They want a penalty here, Bayern Munich. Appeals ignored by the referee. And now PSG on the break down the other ends. Kvaratskhelia with the clip switch ball. To the left hand side, Bradley Barcola with a right foot. Another Neuer save. Kvaratskhelia will usher that one behind for the PSG corner. Yeah, good shot by Bradley Barcola there. And another good save out of Manuel Neuer in the second half, as we see Leonard Carl's shot blocked. Rebounds back out to Conrad Leimer, who struck it well with the left. And that's never a handball against Vitinha there. Or João Neves, sorry. Never a handball. You just kind of have to feel that it's just not been Bayern Munich's night. In the very first few minutes, PSG got that opening goal. They've had the momentum all the way through, even when Bayern have threatened. PSG have just been commanding. Here's Bradley Barcola. Got a little bit ahead of himself and he gave the ball away there. Here's Alexander Pavlovich. Jackson rolls it in behind. Down the right comes Olise. Onto his left foot. Olise swings it into the area. Away it goes by Marquinhos. Barcola trying to hold it up down the left channel, but given away as Kim Min-jae finds Olise, who rolls it through here. Alphonso Davies. Into the box. Again, looking for the right pass. Trying to swing it round the corner for Harry Kane, but no avail there again. And another one gone begging for Bayern. More celebrating there from Marquinhos. And the travelling PSG fans right in the gods here at the Allianz Arena are bouncing. I mean, this whole stadium was bouncing. The home fans in the start of the second half. Well, that has quickly changed very, very quickly. PSG are in a very key position now. I mean, they're in a unique position to go back to back. Not many teams have done it. PSG have a very realistic chance of trying to do it. Of course, we haven't seen a back-to-back Champions League winner since Real Madrid won it 3 seasons in a row between 2016 and 2018. Now the most recent, AC Milan did it in 89-90. Of course, Nottingham Forest famously did it in 79-80. Liverpool did it in 77-78. Bayern Munich themselves did it when they won 3 in a row back in the early 70s. So it's been done before. Can PSG add their name to that list? They have to hang on for another 4.5 minutes. Here's Luis Diaz charging forward. It might drop here. A little bit awkward. Alphonso Davies couldn't find the finish. Safonov has been on the end of everything that Bayern have thrown at PSG tonight. If it's got through that defence, it's been stopped by that goalkeeper, who maybe isn't the most, certainly the biggest names, certainly in terms of goalkeeping in Europe. And it's been well documented, PSG's situation with goalkeepers, with Donnarumma's departure. Chevalier not quite working out, and Safonov's had to come in, and he's done a wonderful job since he's come in. That's this PSG team in a nutshell. It's not about the personnel on the field, it's an identity. It's woven into the fabric of this team. Luis Diaz not giving up whatsoever, but again cannot find the right target, the right pass, the right moment. You give it to Luis Diaz. I mean, he's run endlessly here tonight. As I said, just no end product ultimately from Bayern Munich. Certainly not enough to test PSG. Barclay's heavy touch there is going to roll out for a throw in. 3 minutes to go. Remember, we told you they need 2 goals, Bayern. Looks extremely unlikely they're going to get anywhere near that right now. Leonard Carlo, no way through there. Joshua Kimmich pings it to Diaz, who again is bettering his man 1v1. Again, ultimately battled out of it by the sheer amount of PSG bodies back. And look at the celebrations from the sidelines. And the PSG players winning a free kick deep in their own half. All those little fine margins, all those little bits and pieces that make the difference. PSG have managed this game. I said it earlier, I'll say it again. They've managed this game to perfection tonight. They have played it like a true European champion side. They are a side that are the European champions, and right now look like they deserve to retain it. They deserve to go on and do it again, because, I mean, coming to the Allianz Arena and possibly leaving with a win and a clean sheet on the night is an incredible feat. It's not easy against one of the best, most threatening attacks in Europe. We've seen it. The only team that's got close to PSG in terms of goal scoring this season has been Bayern. Here's Harry Kane! Oh, he snatched one in. And they've got one, Bayern Munich. Maybe too little too late, but if they can snatch another in quick succession, maybe we're not done and dusted here yet. 1-1. 5-6. Maybe, just maybe, this one isn't over. They need to do it very quickly, Bayern, if they're going to find the next goal. They've less than a minute of the 5 added to go. Good play by Jackson. The touch by Harry Kane on the half turn, and the finish into the top corner. Wonderfully dispatched by the Englishman, who gives Bayern the slimmest of slim hopes. But they're going to have to move it incredibly quickly. What a finish. 1-1 on the night. 6-5 on aggregate. Still in PSG's favour massively though. But they're going to have to go quick if they're going to find another one, Bayern. This will be one hell of a turnaround. The clock dropping down. This crowd has livened itself, trying to give their team one last push, one last chance. Here is Alphonso Davies. They need to get it up the field quickly, Bayern. 5 minutes is up, but they might have another 30 seconds or so. The referee looks at the watch. Limer. Again, no way through there for Bayern as PSG block it out. That will be a PSG throw. Elise there with the last touch, and that might just be that then. As Marquinhos has gone down. I mean, I think Harry Kane saw right through that. I think everybody's seen right through what Marquinhos is doing. There's no way he has cramp. There's absolutely no way he has cramp. No way. Great finish by Harry Kane, but that he got that 20 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago, 5 minutes ago, could have been something very different, but they only need one more chance. But will they get the opportunity to find one more opportunity, one more chance, one more piece of attacking quality? The referee's going to let it run here. Bayern have the ball down the right. Harry Kane here with it. Can't find the ball forward. Drops for Pavlovic. No time! The European champions are looking to retain their title, and they're one win away from history, from back-to-back Champions League titles. They've gone to the Allianz Arena and got the job done. All they needed to do was avoid defeat tonight, PSG. They led for over 90 minutes, from the 3rd minute right the way through to the 95th, when Harry Kane got a late equaliser. But Bayern needed to win tonight by any score to keep it alive. That was what they needed to do, and in the end they came up one short. Luis Enrique and PSG are into another Champions League final, back-to-back Champions League finals, and they want to do it once again and go all the way in this competition. After they did it for the very first time last season, they want to make it 2-2, and they are just 90 minutes seemingly away from retaining the Champions League. They showed a different side to themselves tonight, the European champions. Last week it was all about the attacking prowess, their finishing quality, and their sheer attacking threat. But tonight it was about the hard yards, the chasing, the intensity out of possession, closing down, throwing your body on the line in challenges. You needed their goalkeeper, they needed their defenders, they needed every single one of those players to get the job done, and they have it. They've done it, and PSG are into the Champions League final and looking to try and retain this trophy. No team has done that since 2018. PSG, who didn't this time last year, had never won a European Cup, and they could be 12 months later with 2 in the bag. That is how close they are. But as I said, we saw PSG win their first title last season. Well, will it be Arsenal's turn to win their first? We'll find out. Saturday, the 30th of May, it is all set in stone. PSG-Arsenal final. And who will come out on top? Will the reigning European champions do it again? Or will Arsenal, for the very first time in their history, lift this trophy for the very first time? Who knows? But ultimately, heartbreak and pain for Bayern Munich on the night, and Vincent Kompany, who really they fought so hard this season. Bayern, they probably were the dark horse. No one really spoke about them winning it. It was all the talk of PSG right throughout the season, possibly Arsenal too. Bayern had really gone under the radar until they came into this semi-final. They beat Real Madrid, and then they came into this one and went toe-to-toe with PSG last week. But in the end, when it came down to it, they just couldn't get themselves over the line. It's painful, but an amazing job that Vincent Kompany's done here at Bayern Munich. Fabulous job. Right back where they belong in huge Champions League games at this stage of the season. But the celebrations will go long into the night for those PSG players and fans. They're into another Champions League final. Back-to-back finals. And as I said, they want to go and do it again and win this trophy for the second season running. What a night. A very different game between these two this week. Ultimately, they both scored in the end, but not to be the result that Bayern Munich wanted. But exactly the outcome that the European champions hoped and dreamed of. And they are just 90 minutes away from going and doing it all over again and winning this competition for the second successive season. Well, it's been an incredible tie. 11 goals between the two teams over the last 180 minutes. PSG eke it out in the end. A 1-1 draw on the night, but it is finished. PSG 6, Bayern Munich 5 on aggregate. PSG are into the Champions League final. And there is how we've fared over the last week or so across the 4 games that we've watched in the Champions League semi-finals. And as I said, confirmation, we know who will face who. It is PSG against Arsenal in the 2026 Champions League final, Saturday the 30th of May. Set your calendars, do not miss it, because it will be one hell of a fight, one hell of a battle. Will PSG get their seconds? Or will Arsenal win their first? History on the line in Budapest in just 3.5 weeks' time to conclude the season. Well, that is it from us tonight. Thank you very much for joining us. It's been great to have your company for this one tonight. We're back with Champions League action, of course, in the final on the 30th of May. But we're back on Friday night here in LFS for the Championship playoffs as they get underway. Who will take that final spot in the Premier League next season? We will start to find out when the action gets underway Friday night as Hull take on Millwall in the first of the playoff semi-finals. But from the Champions League semi-finals, it's Arsenal who eked past Atletico Madrid, and it's PSG who've scraped their way past Bayern Munich. And they both will meet in Budapest in 3.5 weeks' time. And who will be European champions this season? Thanks for your company. Night.